So as an audio reviewer, I've tested hundreds of speakers, but I've never tested one quite like this. This looks like a regular picture frame with a regular photo in it, but it's actually not. This is the Samsung Music Frame, and it actually solves a pretty big problem that most speakers face. On top of that, I like it, my wife absolutely loves it, but when it first launched, I had so many questions about this. Like, are the photos prints or are they digital? Where's the speaker hidden? Does it actually sound good? And can I answer calls on it and use it as a smart speaker? How do you connect it to music? So many questions about what this product really was and how it works. Like I said, it's such a different product that there just aren't many other things on the market like it. So, like I said, I've reviewed countless speakers, and the problem that I always have with them is that they take up space and they don't look great. They look okay, they kind of blend in, but they always end up shoved away kind of in a corner where they're less visible, but then in the corner, they also don't sound as good. So that is exactly what the Samsung Music Frame aims to fix. In essence, you can set it on a counter, hang it on a wall, place it anywhere you want. It looks nice and also fills the room with sound. But first of all, this right here, the Samsung Music Frame, was sent to me for free from Samsung. So thanks to Samsung for sending this over and for sponsoring this video. Now, getting back to the first question of what even is this? Well, the photos in it are not digital, which I was happy about. They're actually real prints, which looks nice. The lack of a display, in my opinion, makes it, one, more future-proof, and two, easier to blend into any room, looking a lot classier than a digital photo frame. But you can easily swap out the photos. So right here, I have a photo of me with my wife in Banff. It was a great time. It's nice that instead of having just a speaker on a shelf, I've got this memory of we hiked up this mountain, it was really cold in the morning, and the view was absolutely worth it. That's awesome. So when I'm not playing music, or even when I am, I have that on the wall. But if you wanted to swap this out, so all you do is lift up on the photo, pull it out, and there's 4 pins on the back that come out of this, and then you can swap out your art panel with several different options. So there are really 2 different ways you can customize the art or the photos on the Samsung Music Frame. Well, the first one is going to be just a photo frame, which is what is included in the box. Essentially, you can just unsnap it, flip it over to the back, lift up that back panel, and put in any 8x10 photo you want, then put it all back together, and you can swap out your photos very, very easily. The second thing you can do is actually get an entire art panel. Now, this is something that you can customize the art panel with any image you want. You do this online, you order it, it ships to you, and you put the whole panel on here, and that's nice because it covers the entire 13-inch by 13-inch music frame. So maybe I want to swap it out with this second photo of my college roommate and I when we went to Nice. The first day when we were going there, nobody had phone service, so we kind of all just found each other on the beach. It was really high energy, everyone was real excited. We hiked up this mountain and the views were awesome. Or maybe around my anniversary, I can swap it out again and put a photo of me with my wife in front of the Eiffel Tower from our first time visiting Paris. That's one aspect of this. That's probably the easiest aspect to understand, is that it's a picture frame, right? So instead of just a little white block in the corner, it's a memory that you can customize and change periodically and make your room feel more like a home. But the second question I had originally was, where are the speakers? This thing is a music frame, music is part of it. Does it sound good? How loud does it get? And where are they? So if I turn it around, you'll see on the back, we have 2 very large and very obvious speakers there. It's actually a 3-way speaker, and no matter how you orient this speaker, it always seems to sound really quite good. So there are multiple different ways you can mount this or set it on a counter, or really different ways you can use this. And every way that I've tried, they really has a wide sweet spot, so you can put it most places in your room, and pretty much anywhere you move throughout the room, it's really going to fill the room and sound really quite nice. So it's kind of nice that you have consistent and balanced sound wherever you are. This also has Dolby Atmos and 3D surround sound. But as far as the volume goes, this is loud. I've been listening to it. If you're just cooking dinner, I usually have it at 28% volume or something like that. If you have a party, you could definitely turn this thing up. Probably the easiest way to demonstrate this is with a volume test. So I'll show you guys what it sounds like, and I'll also have a decibel meter to show you just how loud this actually gets at different volumes. All right, 25% volume. So yeah, the music frame definitely gets loud. It definitely has a lot of bass as well. As you can see, some pretty large drivers on the back. Wherever you orient it, I thought it'd really sound significantly different if it was on the wall, but I was pretty surprised that it really didn't sound that different on the wall. I think that's really quite impressive how they're able to do that. And of course, like I mentioned, there are multiple ways to mount it, so kind of getting into that right now, On the back, we have two main ways you can mount this. On the top, and all of this is included in the box, you can thread in this machine screw up there, and then they have a really easy way to mount it. So rather than like guessing with a hole in the wall, they give you a nice template right here with some 3M tape on the back. You just stick that on your wall where you want. Then you can mount this little adapter on the back using the drywall screws that are included in the box. Then you simply hang it on that machine screw and use the little 2 foam blocks that are included to put them on the bottom to have the proper spacing so it sits perfectly on your wall with the right amount of space so you can still get that sound quality there. The second way you can actually use this is with this nice included stand here as well. So on the bottom, you just put it on, you slide it up, and you have a stand so you can set this anywhere in your room. And I guess a third way would literally just be to stand it upright like this if you wanted to lean it against a wall or something like that. It's not really the optimal way to do it. The stand is going to be better, but technically you could do that if you really wanted to. Now, how do you actually play music on this? That was like another thing. Is it just a Bluetooth speaker? Is it a smart speaker? What can you do? There's actually a lot of ways you can connect this and play music. Starting off, the first one is of course going to be Bluetooth. So if you have any device and you want to play Bluetooth music on here, you can totally do that. You also have Chromecast and AirPlay 2. So if you're using basically any smart device out there, you can connect even like Chromebooks, different laptops, can connect to this and just cast their music. That's nice if you have a party, someone's on your Wi-Fi, and instead of trying to like set this into Bluetooth mode, it's just easier to just cast it so other people can change and cast at any point without having to disconnect previous phones. We also have digital audio in, and you can actually sync with your TV speakers using Q Symphony. So that allows up to 2 music frames that can be connected to a Samsung TV and Samsung soundbar to create like a full home theater system. Theater systems I've always thought were a little bit annoying because if you have speakers around the house or even up in the front, like they just take up space, or you have wires like they're on the walls. This is going to blend in so much better and still give you that nice theater surround sound in your room. Oh, and you can also use Voice Assistant to get this to play music as well, as it's connected to Wi-Fi using the built-in, I won't say your name, but Alex, built-in Alex, you know who I'm talking about, or of course Bixby as well, and you can just have, you know, Spotify or whatever music, a platform you like, playing music on here like that. So plenty of ways to connect. For me, I've always just been using it. I've been using Chromecast a lot, so I'll just cast from my phone. Easiest way to play on here. So if you open up the SmartThings app and you navigate to the music frame, whatever you decide to name it, you'll see on the top it's ready to connect. So I can connect by Bluetooth because that's what I have set up with this right now. Of course, I could also go over to Chromecast and a lot of other ways to stream music on here. We've got the volume controls right there. We have the Right now it's connected to this phone. I actually just connected it. We've got the sound mode down here, so standard, adaptive sound, or music. I'm gonna leave it on music mode. We also have an equalizer down here, just a simple 2-band equalizer. I like to turn up the treble about 2 notches, turn the bass down 1. Like I said, it is very capable on the bass end, and in my room in particular, I feel like I have to turn the bass down just slightly to make it really sound as good as I want it to. Then down here we have the SpaceFit sound. I like leaving that on. I think that's really cool for a bigger room. Then we have active voice amplifier, maybe something that would make more sense if you're like watching movies and stuff. Then advanced sound settings down here, we've got night mode and voice enhancement again. You can use SmartThings Hub, and then down here, Discover Bixby just tells you about the voice assistant you can use with this, which is Bixby, of course. Then if we go over to services, we have Q Symphony, so if connecting to a Samsung TV, for example, you can set up multiple at the same time, 2 of these for a TV and a soundbar. We also have wireless Dolby Atmos capabilities on here. Going down, we have SpaceFit, as I mentioned before, kind of just amplifying to fill your room a little bit more. We also have tap sound on here, so using NFC, you can just tap your phone and kind of just hand off your music to the speaker, and then it'll play it. I think that's a really cool feature, so you don't have to go into settings at all, just walk over, tap it, and switch the music to the speaker right here. We can modify the voice assistant settings. Spotify Connect, of course, I use Spotify a lot for a lot of the music I'm streaming, so it's kind of nice that you can, set that up, set up your account with this and just ask it to play Spotify, again, without ever having to use Chromecast or anything else. And of course, we do have Tidal Connect as well. So a good way to listen to high resolution audio, higher resolution, of course, than Spotify at least. But yeah, that's everything you can do in the app. There's really a ton of capabilities on here in typical Samsung fashion. I'm impressed with how many different features they packed into like just a picture frame. I think it'd be pretty acceptable if they just had this as like Bluetooth and maybe Chromecast only, but going above and beyond, I think is going to make it even more versatile, which kind of seems to be the common theme for this frame. But then moving into the next question that at first, honestly, I didn't think of this. Maybe you're wondering right now, but can you actually change the way this looks? Not just the art panel in the middle, which, by the way, this one right here, you see some white bars on the top and bottom. That's just a photo that I used. You can actually fill this entire thing, and I'll have links in the description down below. If you guys want to see, kind of play around with art panel, see what they look like before you end up ordering one of these, you could fill the entire square. It's 13 inches by 13 inches. That's really nice. But some more modifications on top of that, like I said, I didn't think of this, but I'm sure a lot of people would, and it's really smart. You can actually change the bezels on here. So it comes with black bezels, but you can swap out these white ones really quite easily. So they're labeled on the inside. This one's the bottom one, this one's the left, this one's the top, and then you just simply snap them on. It's super easy to press them on, and boom, just like that, you got white bezels all the way around this. So it could match, again, a totally different home style than the black bezels. And to me, I haven't really decided which one looks best. They both look pretty nice. Maybe I'll just change it whenever I feel like changing up the room. Now that I'm talking about like the actual physical design of this, looking at the back, a couple other things to note. We do have 3 ports on the back. So the first port is your 19-volt DC input. And so in the box, you get this really nice long cable. Most of it is actually like kind of a grayish translucent cable that should blend into most different walls. Honestly, if I decided I wanted to mount it in one spot forever, like which I probably will end up doing, I think what I'll end up doing is kind of just painting over the cable, making it match the wall exactly, or finding another way to kind of hide the cable even better. But just, you know, this cable as is hidden a lot better than a white or a black cable, which is very, very visible. But it's just a little pin and barrel plug, very easy to plug in. Then we have the SmartThings dongle. That's your USB type A port in the middle. And then on the left side, your optical input there. Again, if you're using TVs, that would probably be what you do with that. And then over on, wait, which side is this? The right side. When you're looking at this, you have your 4 buttons right there. So you have a mute button. This does have a microphone in it, like I said, to use the voice assistant if you really wanted to. This is really meant for music, of course, but technically with the voice assistant, you could ask it other things if you wanted to. We have our volume down, our volume up, and of course, the mode switch button on the top, which will toggle between different audio input modes. So overall, I really do like this frame a lot. Not everything is perfect though, so kind of looking at the only 2 main drawbacks that I would really recommend considering before getting this. One is that it does obviously stick out from the wall a little bit more than a regular picture frame. You can see the thickness right there, and it's something that I don't really have a problem with in the rooms that I use, but if you have like a really small apartment, or if you plan on putting this somewhere that you're gonna be moving by a lot, you wanna make sure you're not knocking this off the wall, so really choose a spot according to that. And the second thing is that it's nice that it's not battery powered. You don't wanna have to charge your picture frames up. But of course you will have a cable that you're gonna wanna try to, do some cable management to hide this, make it look a little bit better. I like how the cable, as I mentioned, blends into the wall quite well. So kind of a clear, translucent cable that kind of picks up the color of the paint behind it, in my opinion, and makes it blend in a little bit better, but it's certainly not perfect. You will have a cable that you'll wanna manage for this. So that's a summary of the Samsung Music Frame. It solves a lot of the problems that many speakers face, which like I said, is that many speakers are ugly, they're an eyesore, they sit on your counter, whereas this can have a lot of different aesthetics. It can really blend into your home. You don't have to be Bob the Builder to do it either. It's easy to swap out the bezel, swap out the photo, and you don't need any tools for any of that. Or you can mount it on the wall, set it on a counter, again, using all of the included stuff in the box. And I think that's going to make it very accessible for a lot of people, but also really, really cool in a home. Like if I have a party, I can play the music quite loud and it's just gonna fill the room. People aren't going to know where the music's coming from because you don't have that eyesore of a speaker sitting directly on your counter. So the Samsung Music Frame overall, like I said, I'm really impressed with it. A lot of ways to connect and play music, far more than I expected. Using the SmartThings app on like a Samsung phone, for example, gives you even more settings and connectivity on here, the ability to EQ and stuff like that. And it just seamlessly blends into most rooms' aesthetics. So yeah, if you like the Samsung Music Frame, I'll have a link down below. If you enjoyed this video, consider liking and subscribing. I'm Mike O'Brien. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.